Good day, everyone. My name is Janicelio Pepito, and I discuss uh, the our concept. Um, this is secondary data. Uh, the title is the impact of labor force participation rate and economic growth in the Philippines. So this is my wait the word. Chapter 1. So, introduction is rationale. The labor force are currently active population comprises all persons who fulfill the requirements for inclusion among the employed, civilian employment plus the armed forces, or the unemployed. The employed are defined as those who work for pay a profit for at least 1 hour a week, or work have a job, are temporarily not at work due to illness, leave, or industrial action. So, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So, this is they talk about the labor force is what is labor force in OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. The armed forces covered personnel from metropolitan territory down from the total available labor force who serve in the armed forces during the period under consideration, whether stationed in metropolitan territory or elsewhere. The unemployed are defined as people without work but actively seeking employment and currently available to start work. This indicator is seasonally adjusted and its measure in person organized for economic cooperation and development, or OECD. Um, nagkuha po mi um, nagkuha po mi sa ILO. The labor force participation rate in measured or proportion of a country's working age population that engages actively in the labor market, either by working or looking for work. So, uh, this has had an economic growth. Ang labor force, dako siya ka-impact sa economic growth sa Philippines. So, muna siyang damo karon na mas damo karon ang kanang mga ning appeal ang mga labor force bisag mga 15 pa ilang age ning ang uban ning sulod na wala na ning school ana. So economic growth is an increases in the capacity of economy to produce goods and services compared from one period of time to another. It can be measured in nominal or real terms, the latter of which is adjusted from inflation. Traditionally, aggregated economic growth is measured in terms growth, national product or GNP, on gross domestic product or GDP. Although alternative metrics are sometimes used by Nobel Prize winner Paul Romer from the Concise Encyclopedia of Economics. So, dira ko nagkuha ani na definition. So, ang dapat ni diri ang what is Philippines? So, nanili siya diri. Philippines in economic is one of the most dynamic economies in Asia Pacific region with increasing urbanization, a growing middle class, and a large and young population. The Philippines economic dynamism is rooted in strong consumer demand supported by vibrant labor market and robust remittance. Philippines is known for an economic services industry and agriculture are the main sectors of the Philippine economy. So, napudiri ang labor force. So, muna na siya ang labor force na was estimated 64.9% or 649 in every 1,000 Filipinos 15 years old and over, either employed or unemployed. This translates to 50.38 million Filipinos 15 years old and over in 2020. According to the recent data, the Philippines' economic growth is currently at 5.8%, for the third quarter of 2024. According to the International Monetary Fund, the Philippines' economic growth lasts in 1980 to 2024 current data. So minimum research gap is the real GDP growth is often used a performance indicator to provide guidance on economic condition. It is calculated by taking a difference between the most recent real GDP and the prior year's real GDP. Then dividing the difference by the prior year's real GDP, the annual percent change in real GDP is a measure of country's economic growth rate. A negative GDP gap represent the forfeited output of the country's economy, resulting in the failure to create sufficient jobs for the willing to work, financial crisis, and reflected of underperforming economy. A large positive GDP gap may be a sign that the economy is overheated and poses an inflationary risk. So, one of some objective of the study to investigate the relationship between the labor force participation rate and real GDP growth in the Philippines, analyze the contribution of labor force participation rate in drive sustainable economic growth, to estimate the elasticity of real GDP growth with the respect of the labor participation rate, identify the change in force participation and their impact of real GDP growth in the Philippines. So, our theoretical So, ang among theory ani is a human capital. Human capital. According to Adam Smith in The Wealth of Nation, Smith in 17 and 777 and 1776 set the study of human capital. So, although he does not use the phrase human capital, he identified the acquired and useful abilities of individuals as a source of wealth and economic progress of a country. Human capital theory is economic theory that posits the education and training and can increase a worker productivity. So, ang human capital, so nag ano po na siya sa sa kada kada usa sa ato ay individual na may na may ability ta na ing ana mapa-improve nato ang economic growth, ba? So it was apparent to researchers that national output was growing at a much faster than the rates of sorry of growth of inputs, land, labor, and physical capital, according to Denison 1962. So the relationship between education levels and labor force participation rate. This research seek, seeks to understand how human capital development influences economic growth. The higher the levels of education will lead to increase the labor participation, which contribute a higher GDP growth in the Philippines. So, dako kay nagtabang education sa atua. So, kung damo og nang eskwela, syempre damo mo trabaho. So, taas jud ato economic growth. So, furthermore, stimulating human capital development at the labor force participation, simplified visual representation of the relationships. Human capital plus government policies, labor participation rate, education, real GDP, annual growth. Muna siya among mga variables. So, muna siya ng legal mandates, Republic Act. Muna siyang mga Republic Act na kuanan ni ba related sa among gikuha na study. So muna na siya Monteiro human capital, government policies ay nagdepend jud ni sila diri. So ang independent variable is the labor force participation rate and the dependent variable real GDP annual growth. So ang kini silang duha ang independent o dependent variable mo na siya ang moderating variables na namo niini tapos kini ang mediating. So mo na siya ang kasunod niini. So education jud nang base no. So ang labor force nagbase diri sa education. So nga pod kung unsa kadamo ang education nagbase siya diri sa iyang pagka-growth. So nag-ano ani ang government policies pod siya kay na dito ang katong mga training unya mga opportunities of job mo to. So ang conceptual framework, this study the impact of labor participation rate or LFPR on economic growth involves examining how the proportion of the working age population that is employed or actively seeking employment influences the growth of economic measured by the GDP growth rate. The researcher aims to understand whether the higher education of the Philippines or higher LRPR contributes to increased economic growth and productivity. This framework is underpinned by the theory of human capital, which suggests that the skilled and educated workforce enhances productivity. So the profile of the study, age 15 to 64, the education attainment and gender, so na-apple din na walang makuan. Basic education or a higher level education. This indicates that people age they are more likely to join the workforce, contributing to economic growth. In the Philippines, education attainment significantly impact the labor force. So, man to kung ganina na ang education dako jud siya ka-impact pod sa labor force niya. Mo to ang labor force dako ba siya ka-impact sa economic growth. So, muna siya, the government policies aim to create more employment opportunities, especially the graduate students. So, to summarize, age, education, and government policies all play significant roles in influencing the labor force participation rate and ultimately economic growth in the Philippines. The country can contribute to improve economic performance. So, next to review of related literature and related studies. So, subheading, the labor force, muna siya, ang kanang panguha na mo na sa mga researchers. So, ang labor force muna siya, an unconsiderable level of extensive research has been done to examine how the labor force affects the economic growth. The relationship between labor force participation rate and economic growth has been examined in some literature. According to a recent study of Bureau of Labor Statistics, the labor force participation rate has increased significantly in the past year. Labor force has two main components. Employed is currently working for pay profit, and the second one is unemployed, not currently working but actively seeking employment. So, first Bowen and Finnegan's 1969 book of economics labor force participation can be considered the first comprehensive explanation of the factors which determine the labor force participation in the United States. So, mga kuan na siya, mga related studies na din akong panguha sa mga books. So, ang kuan lang dito, di pa man diri. So, his empirical results firmly show the workers in various categories of population respond differently to various economic incentives and disincentives. Also, that the unusually rapid labor force growth in the United States is related to both economic as well as sociological forces. The concept of labor force and labor force participation rate has been extensively studied in economic literature. Cite relevant studies or authors. Manisha Smith and Jones, 2023, and Johnson, 2021. So this study have highlighted significance of labor force participation as key driver of economic growth and development. Factors influencing labor force participation rate include demographic factors, manusyang age, gender, education, wage, employment opportunities, and social norms on economic growth in the Philippines. Research has also explored the impact of labor force participation on poverty reduction, gender equality, and social welfare. So, mo po na siya ang mga empirical studies. So let's move on the economic growth. Economic growth, often measured by increase in gross domestic product, GDP, is a complex phenomenon influenced by various factors. Solo's growth model emphasized the role of technological process as a key driver economic growth. His work highlights how technological advancement can lead to increased productivity and output. Solo, RM, 1956, a contribution of their economic growth for the journal Economics, 70, open parenthesis, 165 to 94. Romer said endogenous growth theory emphasized the role of knowledge and human capital in driving long-term economic growth. His work highlights the importance of investment and education and research to foster innovation. Romer P. Sa journal Political Economy sa niya siya. So, muna mga variables na mo. Uy, government policies. So, government policies can significantly influence labor force participation with economic growth. Studies have shown what policies such as unemployment benefits, minimum wage laws, and tax incentives can impact individuals' decision to participate. Yes, mo po na siya sa government bitaw kanang og gamay lag sweldo. So, di maglisod jud kanang magduduha jud nagsud ang mga kuan og sulod anang trabahoa kay tungod sa kagamay sa kuan, kagamay sa sweldo. Sumo po na ang kuan pod. So, Simenser, 1985, highlighted the indirect impact of government policies on female labor force participation. While these policies may not be directly targeted at female employment, they can still influence women's decision to join workforce. Menser findings emphasize the importance of considering the broader policy landscape when analyzing labor force participation trends, particularly for women. Additionally, government policy related to education and training can enhance human capital, leading to a more skilled and productive workforce, thereby boosting labor force participation rates and economic growth. How effectiveness of such policies can vary depending on factors such as quality of education and training programs, as well as overall economic environment. So, po siyang education, and the last is labor force participation. So, education has been widely recognized as a key driver of economic growth. A well-educated workforce can enhance productivity. So, education is the kulture na siya tabang sa economic growth. So, kailangan nating mag-aral ng mabuti. So, moreover, education can positively impact labor force participation rate. Individuals with higher levels of education are more likely to be employed and higher paying jobs. Theodore Scholes and Gary Becker have made substantial contribution to human capital theory which emphasize the importance of education and training in enhancing labor productivity and economic growth. So the last one is labor force participation rate and economic growth. The relationship between the labor force participation rate and economic growth is a complex and multifaceted one. A higher labor force participation rate, which reflects the proportion of the working age population actively seeking or engaged in employment, can positively influence economic growth. Then more individuals participate in workforce, it can be lead increased production, higher demand and greater innovation. As economic grow, they may create more job people to join the workforce. The study conducted by Chidulko 2014 found a positive relationship between labor and economic growth. In addition, Sari and Saputra 2020 stated that investment and labor have a significant relationship with economic growth. The results of Kehoe 2017 supported long-run relationship between economic growth, labor, trade openness, capital stock. Moreover, A statistically significant relationship between GDPs per capita and human capital was found in the study of Pilinescu, 2015. Sustained economic growth can be achieved through high labor productivity by Fidulia et al. 2019. So, these are the references website na siya dahil ako ikuha. So, walang to man. So, then the chapter 2 will discuss by Miss Jenny Kumpat. Thank you.
Now I'm going to discuss the research methodology. The research design. The researcher will use quantitative methods to gather numerical data and examine the impact of labor force participation rate and economic growth in the Philippines. Researchers use quantitative methods to compute a percent change rate annually. A researcher approach with uses numerical measurement and statistical analysis to understand the phenomenon. So the data and data source, the secondary data utilized for the study will include labor force participation rate in World Bank, and real GDP is from Monetary Fund. The coverage of years is 1991 to 2002. Second, the statistical treatment. The study several statistic competition will use to analyze the impact of labor force participation rate and economic growth. This is statistical treatment, descriptive statistic to summarize the data and examine the research hypothesis about the impact of labor force participation rate and the economic growth. The formula will be included. The mean, median, mode, and standard deviation, and also the range. Next, the econometrical model, real GDP, and the LFPR, which is the labor force participation rate, plus the error term. First, we have the real GDP. It is the inflation adjusted measured the reflect of value of all goods and services produced by economy in a given year. LFPR, or the labor force participation rate, it is the measurement of percent change rate for a working age population that actively working or looking for an employee. So that is the chapter 2, which is the methodology. Thank you for watching this video.